All right. I'm sorry, it's a little backwards. I'm trying to record on my phone, but my phone doesn't have enough storage apparently. So using my computer. It doesn't have a backwards camera, so everything's gonna look really backwards right here. So I'll just read everything off, and hopefully you can just paint a really good image in your head. But I'm really just gonna try to help you out with the best way to prepare for your race. So the whole goal is to reduce your range of outcomes. So your range of outcomes could be from the best race of your life to the worst race of your life, right? And we're gonna try to narrow this all the way over here to like good and the best race of your life. So that's the whole range of outcomes idea. So the worst race of your life is still a good race. That's the whole goal of this. So we're just keep moving this over, and yeah, hopefully get it as close as we can to here as possible. That's the whole goal for the range of outcomes. So I've made up four ways to set up your range of outcomes and narrow them a little bit. So number one is your thoughts. So what are you thinking a month out from your race or the day before your race? All of it is equally as important. So you don't really have that much time to think about it. You know that you have races every other week or every week. So just what you're thinking about during the week of your race, right? So I have three demons right here that kind of control your thoughts, and we're going to really just try to stray away from them. So number one is outcomes. So these are the times that you're running. This is the place you want to get, and that is a result. So that's the result of the race. It's something we can't control. So we're going to try to stay more process oriented right here. So we're going to try to control what we can in the race and not the outcome. Another demon is pressure. So this is the notion that I have to do something, which is similar to the third demon, which is expectations. But pressure is like expectations on steroids. So expectations is the notion that you should do something. I should run this time. I feel fit. I should run a PR. And we really want to stay away from that because it's still uncertain. We can't, there's no way to bring certainty to the unknown, but it's very normal for your human mind to try to bring certainty to the unknown. So that's what these demons actually do. They bring peace to yourself, which is what your brain is like healthily, like if your brain is healthy, it should be doing this. But we're gonna try to rewire the brains basically, and yeah. So expectations you should. Pressure is the notion that you have to. It's expectation on steroids. So pressure is I have to run this time, or I have to run this. I have to win this race or something. And that is also a result. You can't have the result without the process. And this process, the race determines the result. So taking all these demons, we're going to turn them into angels, right? So outcomes, we're not going to focus on the times, we're going to focus on the race plan. So the race plan could be, let's say you're doing a mile, right? The first two laps, you're going to find your teammates and get out hard. So you're in the position you need to be, and you're with people you know who can race with you. And yeah, so those are the first two laps. The third lap, you're going to make a few competitive moves, maybe move up two places if you can. And yeah, so that's going to be your third lap. And the last lap is just kick as hard as you can, or take as many places as you can. Just compete. Compete is probably the best thing you can do. Compete the last lap. So that's what you're going to try to do. So that's a race plan. That's something positive you can think about. It's you're thinking about the process of the race and not the result of the race. You're thinking about the things you can control versus the thing you can't control. Okay. So, and then pressure, we're going to turn to gratitude. I'm thankful to be racing. I'm thankful to be with my team. I'm thankful just to be out here. I'm thankful for the sun. Like, that's really all it is. It's you just being grateful to be racing and doing the sport that we all love and just to be out here with the team, with the people we love. So that's the whole goal. And then expectation, we're going to turn to competing. So competing is the best thing you do. You want to be the best on there's two things. There's the best you ever are and the best you can be on this day. And I find the best you can be on the day is much more important. It's where you're going to be 99% of the time. Maybe you're sick the day before, maybe you had an injury a week ago. And so you're really going to just focus on being the best you can be on the day, which is the best thing you can do. So that is the whole goal. If you are, maybe you're sick, you're not going to be down here. You're going to be right here, the best you can do while being sick. So it's two big differences, and it's something you really got to think about. So that's how we're going to deal with the demons. We're going to turn them into more positive things, think about the process of the race rather than the result. So when you do that correctly, when you're thinking the right thoughts, it's really easy to do the rest of the steps. It kind of sets up everything else. So the next step is preparation. How do you prepare? So basically, if you usually have a pasta dinner, you're having a pasta dinner the night before a race. If you eat oatmeal in the morning before your race, you eat oatmeal in the morning. So you're just doing the normal everyday things you do before your race starts, just kind of giving yourself a sense of just comfort. You're comfortable. You know kind of what's going to happen. You know how you're going to feel ish. You can never really know how you feel, but so yeah, you're doing the normal things. You've already done your homework. You're not stressed out. You're bringing a lot of comfort to the race. You're just staying low energy until your race. So yeah, but that's what you should be doing. Just normal things, everyday things, making sure the race atmosphere is how it should be. Not stressed. You're not really anxious about like a test that's coming up, which is perfectly normal. Like you're in high school, it matters. So, but yeah, and then we get to the warm up, and just a regular warm up. You're doing the same things you do right before workouts, and you're doing the same things right before a race. It's the same warm up. You're not doing a lot different. Maybe you add one or two things, but I do the same exact thing before a workout as I do for a race. I kind of know how I'm going to feel. I know I'm going to be activated. I know I'm going to be primed for my race. So that's the whole goal for your preparation. You're just kind of keeping things normal. It's the same thing. All right. But yeah, and then the third one is the race. So if you're thinking correctly, if you're prepared right, the race is going to come super easy. Racing is natural. It's competitive. You love it, right? It's what we train to do. It's the whole purpose. Like that's not. So you're going to try to race with positive thoughts. You got a race plan. You're engaged. You're confident. You're trying to have like so much confidence in your body and your mind that doubt goes out the door. So when hard decisions come up in the race, do I go with this person? Do I go with this pack? It's immediately yes. It's immediately I got this, and that's how you want to go into a race. So you're thinking positive thoughts. You're very confident. You're engaged. You're solely focused on the race, which is and to do this to perfection is called flow state. So being in flow state, we could talk about it more, but I'm going to just briefly sum it up. It's just being in total focus, totally focused on the task at hand. So whether it's racing or doing your homework, you're in flow state. You're just flowing. You know what you're doing. And it's a beautiful place to be. So if you're doing all that right, if you're thinking, preparing your race, like it's going to be a much better experience. You're going to narrow your range of outcomes, and you're going to feel a lot more like joy. So going back to like pressure and expectation, uh, if you have expectations for yourself and you maybe yes you do exceed them, you do great, right? You hit those expectations, you beat them. The feeling that you get from that is relief. So you're relieved you did it. But if you have like no expectations, you really surprise yourself with how well you did. That is the feeling of joy. That is what we're chasing. That is why we love the sport. Is the joy we get when we do something that we didn't think was possible. So it's joy, and then the relief is kind of down here. Like you just relieved you did it, but joy, you are so excited, you're ready to do it again. It's why you're in the sport. So that kind of goes along with the post race. So after the race, it's really important. I bolded it. Don't be too hard on yourself. If you're too hard on yourself, you're going to be really angry or upset, and you're going to go into the next race with kind of the same mentality. It's a big cycle. It's going to repeat over again. So if you're too hard on yourself, it's going to kind of like ruin the little cycle for a second, and then yeah. But when you're not that hard on yourself, there's a lot of studies you can look it up, but it really just puts a really good emphasis on this. But and then another big thing is evaluating success. So we're going to evaluate success not based on the outcomes, not based on the did we do what we wanted to do or what everyone else thought we could do, but did we do what we planned to do? Did we stay engaged? What were we thinking during the race? How did we learn a few things during the race? A lot of it, you're so young, you're just developing a lot of experience, which is beautiful. And that's the whole goal. We're not focused on, oh, I didn't hit the time I wanted. It wasn't a good race. Maybe you didn't hit that time, but it's a PR or maybe you just like you just were feeling really good and you just gave it all like and maybe it wasn't even a PR and you did like just felt really just gave it your all. That is how you should define a race. That is success to me. If you gave your all, that is success, right? You gave 110%. That is succeed, okay? And that really helps the relationship with the race. So you go into your next race and you gave it your all and you have more. Maybe you're feeling you're not sick this race. Maybe you're feeling a lot better and you run a lot faster, but you did the same thing. You still competed. And that is the range of outcomes. If you just compete, every race will be good, right? And we're just kind of narrowing it, going, right? So we just keep adding it up. And yeah, that's kind of the best way for your race. Hopefully I can screenshot this and kind of reverse it for you to help you out if you ever want to look at this. But yeah, that's kind of how you reduce your range of outcomes. And best way to prepare for a race in my eyes. If you have any questions, let me know for sure. And there's so much more I can evaluate on going through the entire thing. So, yeah, thanks for listening.